Okay, so here I am with the Golden Dragon timeline reading for the year 2025. And for those of you that were already following me last year, I did a similar reading for 2024. And a lot of that stuff I saw in my life anyway, how that really manifested. So, what is the difference between a typical forecast reading, the way that you usually find them, or a reading where you invite these golden dragons in to come in and basically offer everything from their quantum point of view? It is not necessarily going to be a forecast reading or a reading where there's this one timeline and that is how it's going to go, because we all have free will. There is a whole bunch of different parallel realities constantly that we have access to, that the golden dragons are just going to pull down from the ethers and show us. They are here to burn away all illusion and illuminate the truth. So that is what they do, that is what they are known for. So basically what I'm going to do is that I am going to be pulling some cards, and then we are going to see what the golden dragons want to present us with these cards. So the way that this works is the dragons are telling me basically which cards to pull, and they are also going to tell me how to interpret the different cards and the meanings of the different cards and how they are in relation to each other. And sometimes you will see that there is kind of a crossover happening between different timelines, where there is a lot of going back and forth between the different options that are available to you in your quantum field. And sometimes they will really show me this wall where if you make one choice, you cannot really go and jump back into the other timeline. And so they're telling me these two are going to be going together. So I have no idea yet. I don't know what any of it means. We're going to find out together. Okay. So these first cards are going to be the main energy, basically, that they are seeing. So these are going to be for collective choices that we are making. What is collectively going to be coming up for everyone as a general guideline, and then for you individually this can look very different, but you're always going to recognize this silver lining. And that's exactly the way it was with the reading that I did last year. Then I also offer these readings as personal readings for you, where I can go deeper into the energy that presents itself today in this collective reading based on the information that you give me about your personal life. So the way that they're telling me now to read it is very clearly to go through the two timelines simultaneously. Last year, I had to do one timeline completely, which would be this entire row, and read the entire energy, and then go to the second timeline and read the entire energy. And now I feel in general, the energy is going to be way more fluid. We are going to be able to go between these different options. And these are two main options. For you, this may look like three options, four options, different things, depending on what you individually planned for this year. So what this is saying, let's call this here timeline A. Let's call this here timeline B. Timeline A, crystal yellow dragon, opens you to higher learning and wisdom, expands your crown chakra for illumination, walk the higher spiritual path. Timeline B, rainbow dragons, brings the leap of joy that opens new doors. Have trust, rediscover wisdom, expect miracles, accept opportunities. So both of these seem very positive. And I know that 2025 is going to be a year with a lot of big shifts, and that it's not necessarily going to be all rainbows and positive and all this stuff. There is also going to be some shadow stuff that's going to come up. But the silver lining of the whole thing is basically so that you can expand, so that you can pull in more ascension light for your path to illumination, basically to walk a higher spiritual path. And that it's going to present itself in how you choose the details, is what I'm feeling, because these are very similar. The beginning of these two timelines feel very similar, because here brings the leap of joy that opens new doors, have trust, rediscover wisdom, expect miracles. That I feel this first timeline is more about being open to deepening your path. And if you have watched the reading that I did last year, there was one group that was going to be really manifesting rapidly in 2024. And there was another group that was going to take it a little slower, which is a deliberate choice that they made. And I feel that this timeline connects immediately to the people that last year chose to go through rapid acceleration and a lot of lessons, so that you're just going to deepen and fine tune that path that you have been on. And this is more the rainbow dragons here feel for this group that now has finally worked through a lot of the density that they were dealing with all of last year. Now they're going to see that there are new doors that are going to be opening, new things that are going to be coming up for them. So let's see what these cards here have to say. So I'm feeling that these cards here are directly connected to the choice that you make, how you want to experience the foundation of 2025. So if you are saying with this here, you are choosing to embrace this higher learning, fine tuning the path that you were on last year, it may require some determination, dedication, and you have chosen to go through your initiations in a rapid pace. So it may not necessarily immediately look all fun and light, and you're gonna be faced with some challenges, but it's not gonna be anything that you cannot deal with. It's all gonna be stuff that is going to hold up the mirror for you. It is going to show you what you are actually capable of. That is what this is going to be doing. So even in these situations where you are seeing that there's going to be conflict, maybe there's going to be stuff that triggers you, that challenges you, that makes you feel all kinds of emotions, that makes you feel angry, that makes you feel all these emotions that you would rather not feel, because you're on this journey of ascension, and you may even feel shame for some of these feelings, but that all of these are coming up for you. So all of this stuff is coming up for you so that you can see it, so that you can work through it, because you chose this path of higher learning and fine tuning, all this stuff that you worked on last year. And it says, have faith in your dreams, which is the energy that you have to keep in mind when you're on this journey here, that stuff is going to come up. And this says here too, peace comes from remembering that only love is real. So in all these experiences that you're going to be going through, all these experiences that may trigger all this stuff that you do not see as love, that you may see as being betrayed, challenged, you feel defeated. Some of these things may come up because they are all connected to this higher learning. Remember that peace comes from remembering that only love is real, that behind everything that your soul chose for you in this next year, there's only love, there's growth, there is harmony. That is the ultimate goal, basically. So let's look at what that is going to look like when you are on this timeline where you feel like doors are opening again for you. You've had to go through a lot of stuff. And again, you may experience both of these. You may go between these. There may be a couple months where this is what you're feeling, and then you're feeling the result as these challenges. There may be a phase where you are more feeling like, okay, there's now some doors opening for me, or it's overwhelming because you've had a hard year, because you've had a lot of challenges last year. So this is saying, breathe, take several deep breaths, and exhale slowly to awaken your energy and to release old patterns. Because I feel these two timelines are very similar, It's just in how the soul chooses to experience the lessons. I feel both of them are about rapid manifestation, a lot of big lessons in 2025, shedding a lot of old stuff to embrace the new stuff. It's just going to be a little bit different depending on what you, this is building on the stuff that you went through last year. So you may feel that all of this kind of resonates. So you can feel that maybe a fiery climax approaches. This does not necessarily have to be negative. An it can be a result from stepping from this timeline to this one, or it can simply be a result from you going through a lot last year. Then a new door opens for you, like this card here suggests. And then you're going to see, oh my God, there's like, you're being pushed forward really rapidly, and it's a little bit overwhelming. And you're being asked to breathe into it, because this is you being confronted with these old patterns, and then suddenly these new opportunities present itself, and you're being asked to do things differently because you're in this new situation where things have to be done differently. You cannot keep doing the old stuff that worked a couple of years ago. And that is really coming up a lot for 2025. We see this in politics. We see this in a whole lot of things that are collectively coming up for the planet. The old stuff isn't working anymore. 2025 is the beginning of a lot of new stuff coming up. So if you do book a private reading, a timeline reading, I can really look at the details of your life. I'm going to ask you to give me the information, what is coming up, and I can see how this is maybe going to play out for you with specific people in your life, with jobs, with locations that you are considering traveling to, moving to, whatever changes that you are making, that you're feeling and you're not sure what to do. I'm basically going to see what is available, like I'm doing right now. So, Nora, how do you feel that in 2025, there's going to be a whole lot of stuff changing? Do you feel what is good advice for people? How can they deal with big changes in their life?
Sleep.
Sleep. Get enough sleep in 2025. So, okay, so now I'm going to turn these around and we're going to see what these have to say. Okay, so this to me feels immediately like the result of all of this work that is going on here in these timelines. And I do feel immediately that there's going to be a back and forth between these timelines. So it is definitely very different compared to the reading that I did for the collective last year, where I could clearly see when a group of people made choice A, that is how the rest of the year was going to play out. And if they made choice B, that the rest of the year would immediately be based on the choices that they made. And I do feel kind of like this card is immediately going to be a result of these choices, and this card is going to be a result of these choices. But I can clearly feel that there's going to be a little bridge in between, because a lot of this stuff is going to be bleeding into each other. A lot of this energy, we are becoming more psychic as a collective. Even people that are not doing any psychic stuff, that are not into intuitive development, none of that, they are still going to be experiencing all these things and going through this, because this is what the planet is going through. So this card here says butterfly, transformation, joy, beauty, transience. I honestly don't know if I said that right. This here, chamomile, gentleness, relaxation, sleep. So this is definitely surprising, because I was going to expect way more explosive or dramatic information for 2025 based on the end of 2024 and how explosive it has been in the energy, in the energetic field of the planet. I feel like now in general 2025 is just going to be more about opening doors, deepening the path, going deeper into the stuff, the foundation that we have built in 2024. So this card, butterfly, transformation, joy, beauty, all this stuff is a direct result of not being afraid. And that is what these dragons are also always saying: burn away all illusions to illuminate the truth. And that means that you're gonna have to go through the fears. And that's where the more intense aspects come from. But the undertone is always love, it is peace, it is fine-tuning your connection to God, to Mother, Father, God. It is fine-tuning your connection to this higher learning and wisdom, opening your crown chakra, reaching towards this illuminated state of being. And that is going to be through going through your initiations, going through some things that are going to be challenging you. And the result of that is going to be, and this feels definitely specifically for the fall, starting in September, October of 2025 is when I'm feeling this card manifesting transformation. You're going to see that all this stuff is going to be paying off. And this is going to be a direct precursor, like for 2026, where I feel the energy is immediately going to be lighter for the group watching now, because I do feel there's going to be a definite split happening between now and 2027. If you watched our Pleiadian update, a Pleiadian channeled message that I did with Ryan a couple weeks ago, which you can find on my Instagram, on my YouTube, we did talk about all the stuff that's happening now. We see the wars, we see these drones, we see this disclosure, and people are not sure if it is actual aliens, if it is the government, all this stuff. There's going to be different camps. There's going to be the people that are thinking that we are in an apocalypse, and then there's going to be the people that are seeing that this is simply a new beginning of how we're being asked to do things differently and to transform a lot. This is a year of a lot of transformation, and a lot of the rebuilding, slowly rebuilding, is going to start to happen during the fall, is what I'm feeling. And how you're going to see there is this transformation happening, and new things are going, the foundation for new systems is going to start to be built around the fall. And you are going to be a part of that directly if you are diving into this fine-tuning of the journey that you've been on last year. If you feel that you mostly fit into timeline number 1, then that is what you can expect. And again, if you want to see what that looks like for you in your life, when you give me more personalized information, you give me the details of what's going on. When you book a reading, a Golden Dragon timeline reading, I'm going to be able to give you more details about how that could possibly manifest. So when we look at this card here, the chamomile card, gentleness, relaxation, sleep, I feel that people that are in timeline B are going to be definitely needing more time to recalibrate and adjust to the newer energies, but that this is going to manifest as finding that they need more self-care. They need to prioritize themselves more because of all the hard work that they've been doing more in 2024. And there's this shift suddenly happening. So there is a going back and forth where things are also transforming for them. And because of that, they need some more time to get used to the new energy because they've done so much hard work last year. So that's what I'm feeling. So the last two cards, I have no idea what they mean. And the moment that I turn them around is when we are going to find out what this means. Okay, so that is pretty clear to me. And these are really about the transformation from 2025 into 2026. The Lemurian shaman, shadow dissolving in gaze of truth, going beyond fear, initiation. This is the direct result of this transformation, of going through the initiations. These are all about the initiations, these two cards. It's all about the initiations. This is the energy If you are choosing to now open up to the higher learning, to the wisdom, you're going to expand your entire field and say, show me how I can fine tune my path. And that is how the golden dragons can help you. So if you get a reading from me, you can also start working with the golden dragons. You can start working with them, calling upon them as your guides, because they're going to be the ones that are going to be giving you the information about your year. So you can then, for example, say a statement if you feel that you are in this phase of initiation where you are not sure anymore what is up, what is down, what is happening in your life. Remember that peace comes from remembering that only love is real, what it says here on this card, and keep on having faith in your dreams. And then the end result is going to be that you are going to be integrating a lot of these individual transformation codes. You're going to become this alchemist. A lot is going to look very different at the end of the year for you, and you're going to go beyond fear and initiation. That is what I'm seeing. And we see this in the world. We're going to see this playing out in politics, in all these public systems. A lot of new things are going to be introduced in a very positive way. It's going to look like a collective alchemical process of these systems. And that is what these dragons are here to do with us. Now, this timeline here, where you are also going to be initiated, but you're going to be asked to be very gentle with yourself. It's not going to be like here where you are full on into the process of initiation. You're going to slowly start releasing these patterns, and there's going to be climaxes that are going to come up, but you're going to be asked to really lean into gentleness, to release the old patterns, because new doors are going to be opening, and you want to really feel this whole process and be gentle with yourself. And it says here, restore time out for you, nature. So exactly like what I said earlier, you're going to learn to prioritize yourself, because that is how you can make the real changes in your life. And you may feel that you go back and forth. And so the main message would be that this is all about trusting yourself as the ultimate authority figure in your life. We're going to start to see that in the collective, the governments, the medical systems, political systems, banking systems. We're seeing how they are not really the authority figures. In a lot of cases, we see that there's like all this stuff happening, that the systems are just not really working, that there's transformation that needs to happen within all of these systems. So that also means you have to sometimes take time to restore. And you also need to have times where you dive into the stuff, where you look at it, where you magnify all these things, look at the things that are coming up. So you're being asked to go where your intuition is telling you to go. These are all the energies that are available to you for this entire year. And more than ever, your higher self is asking you to really trust yourself and to learn how to prioritize yourself, is what I'm getting from this. So if you are curious to see what this looks like, and also to receive more personalized clearing statements for yourself that you can then repeat throughout the year, depending on how you feel that these energies are coming up for you, then reach out for a personal reading so that we can, together with the dragons, see how you can navigate all these energies that are coming up for you. So what would that look like working with these golden dragons? You can perhaps say something like, golden dragons, anywhere where I am detached from my higher self, where I am not clearly feeling what the path is in just the chaos of these initiations. Golden dragons, please clear, release, delete, and transmute across all time, dimension, space, reality, anywhere, any incarnation, The energy of being confused, the energy of feeling like I don't have control over my life and the decisions that I need to make, and replace this with clearly seeing what this higher learning is, clearly seeing my soul wisdom. And you can just say this to yourself and feel how any confusion is being burnt away and how it is being replaced with a deep inner knowing, feeling what it is that you're supposed to do, so that you can embrace this transformation and feel more empowered and feel more like this Lemurian inner shaman. Because if you're watching this, you have had past lives in Lemuria, in Atlantis, and this whole year is going to be about fine tuning this higher wisdom that you have. So, and if you are, for instance, noticing there are new doors opening, there is all this new stuff presenting itself and it's overwhelming, you can say, golden dragons, anywhere where all of a sudden these new opportunities are a little bit overwhelming, anywhere where I have problems or am struggling with releasing the old programming, please clear, release, delete, and transmute across all time, dimension, space, reality. Anywhere where there may be resistance to fully leaning into the new opportunities. So, and replacing it with just trusting the journey and knowing that you are supported by these golden dragons, by your spirit team, by Mother, Father, God, by your higher self. So, these are things that are coming up right now for, if you're watching this, for you, for anybody, for your neighbor, for the planet. It's just coming up for everyone right now. So, Nora, how do you feel that people should try to deal with stress? Because some people are going to be a little bit stressed maybe next year. What would be a good thing to do when you are stressed? Going into nature, of course, going for walks. What else would be good things to do?
Eat.
Yeah. Okay. So if you feel that this is something that you would like more personal advice on for your life, and you just want to see kind of what the dragons have to share with you, how you can work with them, some extra statements to support you and the energies that are presenting themselves to you in 2025, then reach out for a reading. You can find all the information on my website in my link tree. They are on sale right now for the entire month of January. So after that, they are going to be going up again in price. So now is the time to tune into the energy that presents itself for you for this year. And let me know in the comments what resonated for you. If you watched last year's reading, or you may have received a personal reading and you feel like this is exactly what you've gone through and you're experiencing this, and now you feel that this is exactly what you needed to hear, or just whatever happened for you, just share it in the comments with me. And other than that, I would say Happy New Year. What would you say? How do you want to say good? Happy New Year.
And late Merry Christmas.
And late Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Anything else before we end?
Bye.
And bye. Bye bye.